Aloha. Hi everyone. I hope all is well. I hope everyone is doing well. um, so if I find myself tearing up, please uh, please don't mind me. It's just one of those things that some of us go through after we've gone through worship and spending time with God. When you find yourself just worshiping and soaking into worship, and you just get caught up in the spirit, and the spirit just takes you to a whole nother place, and God just reminds you of whose you are, like how He is your Father, and that you belong to Him, and that He belongs to you. We have such a good Father, y'all. I should say. He truly loves us very much, even though at times we don't feel that. He really does. I've never been more loved than I am right now. Wasn't holding you up. There is nothing I can do to let you down. It doesn't take a trophy to make you proud. I'll never be more loved than I am right now. I'm going through a storm, but I won't go down. I hear your voice carried in the rhythm of the wind to pull me out. You across an ocean so I wouldn't drown. You've never been closer than you are right now. You are Gyro. You are enough. Gyro. You are enough. And I will be content in every circumstance. You are Gyro. You are enough. Always enough. More than enough. I'm already loved. I'm already chosen. I know who I am. I know what you've spoken. I'm already loved. More than I can imagine. And that is enough. Oh, I'm already loved. I'm already chosen. I know who I am. I know what you've spoken. I'm already loved. More than I can imagine. That is enough. Yes, it is. It's enough. That is enough. If it dresses the lilies with beauty and splendor, how much more will it clothe you? How much more will it clothe you? If it watches over every sparrow, how much more will it clothe? How Gyro, you're enough. Gyro, you're enough. And I will be content in every circumstance. Gyro, you're enough. Okay, I know I'm not much of a good musician, but I try. And I love music. I love to worship. I love spending time with God. And in this time that I've been spending with Him, it's like God not only has reminded me that I am His, whose I am, but He reminded me of who I am in Him. You know, so many times we live in a world where most people are so busy, caught up in chasing um, after the bag. That's what they call it. Chasing after the bag, and that is okay to want to put bread on the table, especially for your family, to be able to provide for your loved ones, for those around you, and just for the needy. God knows that that is the one thing that I want to do. I want to be a lender, not a borrower. I want to be a giver. And God knows that whenever I do have, I give. I love to give. And this moment that God has pulled me closer to Himself, He's opened my eyes to a lot of things. He's opened my eyes to a lot of things. Just how much He loves me, just how much I'm loved, how much He takes care of me, how much He's done, how much He's doing, and how much He is still to do. It reminded me that His nearness. I'm not sure as to whether you know this song by Naomi Renee. VIP by Naomi. I may not be VIP, but I have the nearness of the Father. I have the nearness of the Father. Na, 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 na. I may not be VIP. Forgot how the lyrics go like. But I have the nearness of the Father. Na, 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 na. It's a beautiful song. Of how much God is longing for your heart. God is looking at the heart. He is not looking at the outward. He's not looking at how much you make, how famous you are, how attractive you are, how beautiful you are. God doesn't look at things like that. God looks at the heart. And that is why He spends most of the time walking on the heart, on our hearts, because to Him that is what matters the most. That we have a good heart, a genuine heart, not a deceitful heart, because the heart of a human being can be very deceitful. And without God, human beings can do the unimaginable. Have you ever just I've seen people like turn into the most, act like basically a monster when they get so angry, you know, and they act out of character. They become something else, you know, unrecognizable. And then when that anger fades away, when they've calmed down, you're like, is this one and the same person, you know? And in that anger, we can do a whole lot of damage. And that is why you find some men, especially some of them that have committed a crime or hurt their loved one, who would always say that they could not control themselves, they could not control the anger that they were feeling. And in that moment, I believe that a spirit takes over. You know, when it gets overboard to that point where you can't control your anger, it's because the spirit has taken over. And only God can do an intervention in that moment where you have to look at yourself and say, okay, I need to go take a breather, go take a walk, take a breather, and just before it gets worse, and before it gets worse and a crime or anything is committed, you know. We get so busy, caught up, not spending time with God. And God has been, His nearness, His presence. God showed me that His love, that He is everything I need in this lifetime. Like He is everything that I need in this lifetime. Please do not mind my eye bags. I haven't really been sleeping. I kind of sleep late sometimes, or I would find myself falling asleep, and then like God always wakes me up at whatever time of the night, whether it's at 2 o'clock, especially 2, 3, 4, just so that I can intercede and pray. Obviously, I'd be waking up thinking, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom. But then when God has opened your mind and spirit or eyes, spiritual eyes to that point, you know that He's waking you up to pray, to intercede, to spend time with Him, or because He wants to share something, you know, and He wants you to be awake. Or He just wants to spend time with you, and that is okay. Like, we make time for other people, and we go all out for people that we love. Surely we can do the same for God as well. Yeah. So I actually just wanted to share a little revelation that I got today. As I was saying, as people, we like to chase after the bag, and I made it very clear that it was okay. But do we make time for God? Do we make time to just engage in the secret place? And I always say the secret place. To just say, God, thank you for another day. Thank you for seeing me through the night. Thank you for going before me to uproot, to destroy everything that was not planted by you. Thank you for going also ahead of me to plant that which is from you and to align everything to walk in my favor and for my good. You know, one thing that God has been teaching me is that it's very, he wants us to include him in everything. He even says it in his word. Like, lean not on your own understanding, but in everything, include him in everything, and he will make your path straight. From waking up in the morning to when you come back from work, throughout the day, just talk to him, and just the decisions that you've got to make throughout the day, include him in it. From as little as what kind of dress you should wear, what kind of dress would better represent him for the day, what kind of outfit, or he wants us to just have a conversation with him, to have a relationship with him, like the relationship that you would have with your mother, with your spouse, with your brothers, your friends. It's a relationship after all. So, and these sort of people, most of them, they got the bag as they wanted it. They got the bag. Most of them are doing well. Most people are actually doing well, which is great. It is really great. You all are out here just doing what you love to do. Unfortunately, there are those who have to do work that they do not want to do just because they have to put bread on the table. I felt that way at some point. I felt like I'm content enough to do anything as long as it brings an income. Another one thing that God has been teaching me is that when I wait on him, when I trust him that he can actually take care of me, he can give me the best jobs, he can breathe life back into my business, he can walk through people to help me, he can dispatch my destiny helpers, so that they can help me on this path that I'm on now, or he can dispatch angels that have that assignment. Angels are, after all, ministering spirits and God has positioned for us, to work for us, to help us walk through this journey called life, especially when you're obedient to God, and faithful to him. And he can do all of that. Like, he can really do all of that. Like, you don't need to rely on a human being. Like, if one person is not going to help you, trust me, he's going to send help from somewhere else. And one of the things that Esther's uncles went to tell Esther, that this is what God says you should do. And God is a very just and honest, and he's everything. He's not just a good, sweet God, but when it's necessary, He will be very strict with you and tell you that, look, just like He told Esther, that if you do not do this one thing to help my people, your people, don't think that you're going to be safe being here. Okay, I will get my help from somewhere else. God has people available to do His work. God needs us as His ears, His legs, His eyes, His feet, all of these things. He needs us, but we need Him more. He needs us to be able to accomplish this walk here on earth, to serve Him by serving other people, serving them by preaching the gospel, by serving them with our talents and gifts, by helping each other, by, all of these things that are required or expected from a child of God. So, Esther fasted for 3 days, and she got the courage to do what God asked her to do. And in the end, she became a queen. So being obedient to God is beneficial also to yourself as well. Being obedient and faithful, always consistent with just being obedient and keeping His word, His commandments. So I was reminded of a scenario that happened back then. I've come across a lot of people who have the bag, who have done well for themselves, but they treat other people so poorly. Like so poorly. It's like they become so arrogant. Most of them become so arrogant and they look down on other people. The heart of a human being can be so deceitful. Like the way people treat other people so poorly sometimes is so disappointing. One human being can treat another like that. Mind you, these are riches given to you by God, and just as He gave, He can take. And the one thing I've kind of noticed is that God would send me somewhere to test the hearts of the people wherever He may send me in that environment, whether it's in an office or an open space or at a church or whatever. God tests the hearts of a human being by sending His own. And I kind of saw that in that short time that God has dispatched me to some of these people. I've seen the arrogance. And some of these people call themselves Christians, by the way. But their hearts are so far from God. And I've come to understand what God meant by so many are called but a few. Not everyone who calls me Lord, Lord will enter heaven. We focus so much on the visible world, this earth of ours, that we forget that there's actually a heaven. There's an eternity. And that you will stand before the one who created you, your creator, one day, and you have to answer to everything that you did here on earth. It's just, I try to understand though. But I think at the same time, God is showing me and teaching me that He does not want me to be this way. When He does get me to a point of growth, not only spiritually and in every other area, but also financially as well. He wants me to be very humble and to be helping other people and not to look down on anyone, because the wheel turns so quickly. Today it's my day and tomorrow it's the next person's day. So it's very important to always be humble, to always be helpful, sharing, giving. So the song that I sang earlier, like, these are just not songs that we sing. Listen to the words and what they say. You truly are already loved. I know the world out here, we have a lot of people that make other people feel like they're nothing. They look down upon other people. Some of us have experienced it ourselves, of course, many a times, whether it is from family members. That's even the worst. When people who are supposed to be having faith in you have none at all, and they treat you as if you're just going to remain there. Like, God is not going to one day pick you up and lift you up. Right now He's humbling you and preparing you, and when the time is right, He's going to lift you up into places that you've never thought you'll be in, and the same people that were looking down on you are the same people God is definitely going to say, humble yourself and help. Be humble. Like, help even your enemies, because it will burn coals on them, as God says in His word. It will burn coals on their heads. Out of shame, they will be humbled. I know that a time is coming. A time is coming, and I say that so surely, because God is a God of He's faithful. He's a God of His word. He's a God of His word. He's faithful. His word does not return to Him void. He's loving. Because He loves you, He wants the best for you. So don't focus on those that make you feel like you will never level up to you'll never get to their level, that you'll never amount to nothing. Don't look at your circumstances right now. Don't look at the circumstances right now. Daniel, when he was standing in the lion's den, when he looked up, God has a way of doing things. God is so beautiful. His works are so beautiful. Daniel was just looking up, focusing on the one that created the lions. I think I've mentioned this also before as well. God wanted to teach Daniel to focus on Him and not on the storm around him. Don't focus on the storms. in everything that you're going through. Focus on the one that can take the storm away. So yeah, let them laugh at you, let them mock you, let them say things about you, let them look down on you. It's okay. Just stay in the secret place. The secret places with God. God is gonna reveal himself to you. He already revealed himself to me in the most beautiful way. In dreams, or he just shows you what it is he wants to do for you. And he is testing your heart to see as to whether you will remain faithful. You know, he asked the disciples, are you not going to leave like everybody else did? And they asked him one thing, where are we going to go? Like, where are we going to go? You hold the words of life. And that is everything. The nearness of the Father. I have the nearness of the Father, and He's right here with me. May not be VIP, na, 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 but I have the nearness of the Father, and He's right here with me. He is your Father, and like I said before, He really can provide for you. Like He really can provide for you through these different sources. He is your Father. It's like when He put you on this earth, He did not put you on this earth like as in just dropped you on earth and say just fend for yourself. You know, when you become His child and He sends you to do His assignments, His work, and you are just faithful. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this year is the one year that I really have been faithful to God. Like, I've put my all. God has shown me that truly being faithful and obedient. The beginning of the year, I was being a bit rebellious because I thought, some of these things probably just happen for some people and not for all of us, you know. But God had to reveal to me here in the secret place, like He had to strip me off of everything to bring me here in this secret place to spend time with Him, so that I don't just casually serve Him, like just serve Him when I feel like serving Him. Be consistent only on days when I want to. Be consistent. Love Him when I felt like loving Him, and not being consistent in being faithful and loving towards Him as well. God does not reveal Himself. He does not show Himself to casual seekers of the Word of God. He wants you to seek His faith fully and truly and with everything in you, with all your heart and soul. He wants your daily life to be, He wants you serving Him, this Christian work to be a lifestyle every day, to make time for Him every day. To say, hi God, hey, what do you want me to do today? Or what do you want to talk about today? Hi Dad. So I had this day and it was so terrible, but listening to worship and just being here, just it's so imperative to spend time with God. Because then He can say, oh, my beautiful daughter, my handsome son, I'm here. I'm here. We can walk through this thing together. I've got you. You're not alone. You can do it. I'm rooting for you. I love you. And in those moments when you're being rebellious, He can say, give Him liberty to say, to chastise you. Allow Him, because the chastising is so imperative to keep you humble, to keep you focused on Him. It's like we need God more than He needs. We need God. He doesn't need us. That's the fact of the matter. God does not need us. He wants us, and He's been patient for generations and generations. He's been so patient with us, the human race. And at some point, He raised out a whole world. Like He raised out that generation of Noah. And it was just Noah and his family that were left. Like that is how He can be. He could have given up on us in that time of Noah, and He started a new covenant with Noah, his family, and I've had so many Bible stories. I've heard about other people's talking about the goodness of God, the love of God, but this year I truly felt the nearness of God. I can say I myself have a testimony now, not just what other people told me. Like I've experienced being in the realms of the Spirit, and He's shown me things that I've heard His voice in a dream. I know how He sounds like. That is what the nearness of the Father does. Making time for Him, God. It's like a flower, the one that opens up when you, at a certain time of the day, or when you like water it, it opens up. God is the same way, at least in my sweet little opinion. God is the same way. He opens up to those who earnestly seek Him, who earnestly show interest, who honestly shows that, God, I love you. I truly do love you, and I see you. And I love spending time with you. I'm just not being forced to do it. I love it here. God will take good care of you. Just spend time in the secret places with Him. Show Him you love Him. God's way of loving us is is everything, everything. He does everything for us. He just wants us to love him back by through actions, you know. God sent his only begotten son, Jesus Christ. That's an action to show us that he loves us and he truly is interested in building a relationship with us. He really wants a family with us. To koinonia with us, to fellowship with us. God, as busy as he was all the time, he made time for Adam. Like, this is this great big God who is important, very, very busy. Like, there are people who say they're busy, they couldn't, but God's busyness is something else, yeah. How many billions of people are on this earth, and God caters to all of them. God is busy every day, but he still makes time to spend with little old me. That to me is everything. Some people have described angels being so big. And he has dispatched angels just to keep you throughout the day. The sun and the moon and the stars, they come out just for you. The sun gives you oh my goodness. I'm sorry. The sun comes out just to give you light. For you, the sun, God has created all of these things just for you. For the sun to give you light. For the moon itself to give its light, although it's not as bright as the sun and the stars. For you to admire nature, trees, animals. God has made all of that for you. Like, he thought of you. He had you in mind when he created all of this. Don't let anyone tell you that you will never amount to anything. Don't let anyone make you feel like you will never be anything. That you're nothing compared to them. That you are loved. Don't let anyone make you feel unloved. I know people are so good at it, and the devil uses anything, anyone that avails themselves to be instrument for him to just get you down to that point of know that you are so loved. The sun and the moon rise for you. He's the keys to the kingdom. Oh, you are empty. Don't know what's inside. He's the keys to the kingdom. He's the keys to the kingdom. So believe, even if you can't see it. Just believe. You're the keys to the kingdom. Yeah, that's the one thing that I was thinking about the other day. He has created all of these things for you, just for you, just for you. The sun and the moon bows for you. And I don't say this out of arrogance. I'm saying this to say you are that important. You are that of a big deal to God. And He loves you. You are not alone in this path. He is with you. And He's got you. He's got you. Just be here. Just stay faithful. And then out of the blue, He surprises you and He wows you. And you're like, oh my goodness. God, this is more than I could ever have imagined. Thank you. But then He also reminds you, just like He always used to remind the Israelites, that this place that I'm giving you, this paradise that I'm giving to you, you've gotten out of Egypt where slavery and all these things were happening, where you were being treated poorly and everything, you know. But don't be slaves to your own mind, to your past lives. And remember who took you out of Egypt to bring you to this promised land filled with milk and honey and ripe and beautiful and delicious fruits and all of these beautiful things to admire. It is God, it is God, it is God, it's about Him. And that's what He has been teaching me. It's His nearness, it's His love, it's His gentleness and kindness and chastising. There has been a lot of chastising. And I'm so grateful for that chastising, because I needed it. I need it. If us as human beings are not chastised and put in our place, we can become monsters. And that is why people out there are arrogant when they get money, and when they are well off. They are arrogant and they just treat others like, But God wants you to be a peculiar treasure, a gentle soul, a loving soul, with a pure heart, pure spirit, clean hands, to always be patient and understanding towards other people. I am still learning. I'm not a full package yet. It's a learning process. It's a process. This whole healing process, this whole place that God has me in. He's pruning me and He's uprooting and He's just purging and He's pruning me in the most beautiful flower. I'm grateful to have a Father like Him. The kind of love that He gives, I've never found it anywhere. People will get tired of you. Even your own mother will get tired of your nonsense, okay? And other people, family members, make you feel, a human being's love, it fails. It's not constant, it's not consistent. And other times it's not faithful. But God's love is I've searched around and found nobody. Went down into the deepest ocean. Look all around down there, couldn't find nobody. I searched all over, couldn't find nobody. I looked high and low, still couldn't find nobody. Nobody greater, Jesus. Nobody greater than you. Most Holy One, you are the great I am. Awesome in all your ways, and mighty is your hand. You are here, you carry out redemption plan. Such love. I love to sing, okay? I love to sing. I don't have like golden voice, but I love to sing. I love to sing to my Father. And if I should be honest with you, I did not have a relationship like this with God because I was always casual. But I've decided to give Him my all, my full, because He has shown me that I cannot do this life without Him, and that I need Him daily, every second, not every hour, every second. Out of my belly shall flow rivers, rivers of living water. E-I-E-I-E. Out of my belly shall flow rivers, rivers of living water. E-I-E-I-E. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. It's a life-giving river. Oh, let it flow right here, right now. It's a life-giving river. Well, I've said that was a mouthful. Wow, that was a mouthful. I just let the Spirit lead me. So I hope it touches someone that you are so dearly loved. You're like this beautiful lily to God, and He's just pruning you, and He's fixing your roots because they've been so tangled, and they need to be untangled, and it's a process. And in the end, like gold is refined through the fire, it may be painful. You need to go through the refinery. When you come out of that fire, you're as beautiful and strong, just like gold. He loves you. He loves us all. He loves everybody in this world. He just wants those who can choose to love Him back. Please be one of them.